Alright, Scraft's up. We're on Winter's Gate. It's game 2 of Imperial Gold versus Iizard. I can't quite remember who won the first one. So there's that. Because it was, yesterday or something when I casted it. Maybe even the day before, I'm not sure. Anyway. Imperial Gold, Iizard, both playing Protoss, both opening up in standard manner on their own side of the map, so it doesn't look like we're going to see any sort of interesting shenanigans. This worker heading off across the map is probably just a scout, looks to be headed in a pretty much a straight line, and the worker from Iizard heading the other way as well. So good solid openings, standard stuff. Really, frequently now's about the time that you get differences in a build, because here's the potential to go Nexus before side core. At present, Imperial Gold's going nothing. I don't know why. Look at the production tab, top left, nothing. Just a pylon? No, what? I don't even understand. Not even not supply blocked or anything. So it's a lit side core, but I don't understand what the reason for that was. AFK maybe? I mean, look, there's 800 minerals in the bank at the 2-minute mark. What is going on? Anyway, Nexus comes down. The Nexus is going to be earlier for Imperial Gold than Iizard. And that's alright. Neither Nexus just not coming down for Iizard, so neither of them radically different from the other in terms of timing. We've got the Robo coming down for Imperial Gold. We've also got a Robo building now for Iizard. So, if you look at the production tab, you can see how similar these builds are. They've both got the Nexus, they've both got additional gateways building, both got Robos, both now researching Warp Gate as well. There is a Forge for Iizard, and sometimes, if you scout and your opponent has gone an early Forge, that I would, by the way, I would class an early Forge to be a Forge that comes before the tech that is after the side core. That's an early Forge. If it's Forge first, that's a cannon rush. There's no other good reason to go Forge first. If it's sort of Forge before the tech after the side core, so the tech after the side core is either a Robo, a Twilight, or a Stargate. If they're building a Forge at that point, that would be a really weird Forge timing, but I would suspect a +1 Warp Gate all in, which is basically exactly what the name suggests. You build a bunch of, the two observers are going to pass each other, that's cute. You build a bunch of Warp Gates and you aim to get across the map and put hurt on your opponent, but you start +1 attack, well, certainly in PvP. And you hope to have that lined up so that as your units get to your opponent's base, that +1 just finishes up. So this is what Imperial Gold saw of Iizard's base. Had a little poke in, had a look around. And the observer here for Iizard, you can see what Iizard saw of his opponent. So both players know roughly what's up. There is a pretty substantial there's a reasonable Warp Gate count for Imperial Gold. Iizard a little bit behind on that, and once you're up on 3 bases, 3 Warp Gates isn't going to cut it. That's just 1 Warp Gate per base. So really does need to start thinking about increasing the amount of production here. And look, this Robo is idle at present. Iizard relying on some DTs to get things going, but look at how much money and gas there is in the bank. You could definitely have more Warp Gates than that and put some additional hurt on. You could be building out of this Robo while you're waiting for that tech to come online. 2 Stargates for Imperial Gold. So Imperial Gold is sending this Oracle across the map. It's a pretty late Oracle, 8.5 minutes. You wouldn't expect it to get an awful lot done. It's getting towards the time where people generally are going to throw the odd cannon about in their base so that they can protect. Oh, don't attack a pylon now. And definitely don't tangle with stalkers. So not really achieving much there, the Oracle. I would have preferred that Oracle to be used purely to scout. The Revelation spell that it casts is really potent, can keep tabs on your opponent's army, you can come in and you can do things in the slightly later game. You can always find a way that you can sneak in and maybe drop a slow zone. You can drop the time bomb thing. I can't even remember what it's called. But the time bomb basically freezes all the units that are in it. So, you know, if instead of trying to shoot these workers, you come in and drop that, you freeze a bunch of workers, ideally including the ones in the gas, for a reasonable amount of time, and you put a big dent in your opponent's income, it wouldn't really matter. The Lizard has got, you know, way more gas than he can spend. Imperial Gold, interestingly, it's a big sort of mineral advantage, but not the gas. But only on 2 bases so far with this handful of workers mining down here in the Ninja. So Lizard with the 4th coming up. I like the position in as much as, you know, it's 11.5 minutes. You should have a 4th. But what I don't like is just the lack of production facility. Off 4 bases, you can drive just so much more production than what we're seeing here. So needs to eat through that substantial gas bank. Again, 90 workers, 90 needs to stop building workers at this point. And look, there's still 3 workers in production. And you know, I know that I'll make comments like always, oh, never stop building the workers, but I'm pretty sure I do qualify that with never stop building the workers until you've got 3 bases saturated. Then you can sort of think about laying off and just continuing. Then, you know, when one base starts to mine out, you open up a new base. Okay, Mama ship coming for Imperial Gold, and it is going to be the faster Mama ship. The fleet beacon is finished here for Lizard, and I can only assume that that fleet beacon is going to be for getting the big mothership out. So army supplies are not that similar, given that the actual supply lead lies with Lizard. It's actually Imperial Gold that has the bigger army. So we'll see what happens when they engage. Needs to be a bit careful with the unit pathing. If these void rays, ooh, this could just get nasty. It is going to get nasty. The Mama ship is cloaking a lot of stuff. Everything's just going to get absolutely wrecked in the face there and achieve literally nothing. As a rule, when you're playing in Protoss PvP or just in general against Protoss, don't fight above shield batteries. It's painful. Unless you have overwhelming force. Try and avoid fighting over shield batteries because it just hurts. So I think we're just going to see the end here. I think Imperial Gold just needs to A-click across the map and end this, and should be able to do that. It's an interesting mix of units. We've got, as we look at that, look at the units tab here. Just some of those, some of those, some of those, some of those, some of the. There's even adepts in this army. Why? I don't know. There's Templars. I'd love to see some storms. Are we going to see any storms? We've seen a time bomb. Yeah, not seeing so many storms here. But there's just nothing left for Lizard here. So, yeah, these cannons aren't going to last long. All them shield batteries, all them cannons just powered up with one pylon, and that goes down pretty quickly. So, in the end, pretty one-sided. So Lizard, good at this economy game, getting the eco up and building a lot of workers, but you've got to build an army. You can't expect to be, you know, so few production facilities, only 1 robo, 2 stargates, when you've got 100 workers, 100, and at no time do you ever need 3 side cores. No. GG.